On July 4th, 2014, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the leader of the Islamic State, arrives in western Mosul in a convoy of cars in great secrecy. I remember residents telling me that all of the streets were roped off suddenly. They didn't know why. He walks into the historic Al-Nouri Mosque, a famous mosque in western Mosul. The mosque is full because it's Friday and the congregation is waiting for the Friday sermon. And then Baghdadi ascends the pedestal to a little podium. He approaches the microphone and he declares the Caliphate.
وقال تعالى ولا تهنوا ولا تحزنوا وأنتم الأعلون.
This is what Al-Qaeda had planned for years and had never succeeded in doing.
ووفقهم ومكنهم لتحقيق غايتهم.
In this moment, on this day,
فسارعوا إلى إعلان الخلافة وتنصيب إمام.
ISIS did it. By the way, I forgot to ask you, the day when Baghdadi stood at the pulpit at the mosque in Mosul and announced the Caliphate, where were you?
I was in Syria that time.
In what city?
I was in Manbij.
And do you remember that day?
Yes, there was a lot of celebrations that day. They celebrated. It was throughout the night. They just would have sweets handed out, food, free food. Restaurants would be giving out free food. They'd be hugging each other. The ISIS fighters themselves would be in the city, gloating about their victories and everything and how they helped create this dream.
Chapter 5, The Heart. So, Rukmini, this is the dream, the arrival at long last of the state.
Right. I mean, this dream of an Islamic homeland is what is responsible, in a way, for bringing in people from all across the world. 40,000 ended up flooding through the doors of the Caliphate to join ISIS, to join this community, and to help build this Islamic promised land.
Okay, I guess we'll start from here. These are the Syrian ones.
You took these yourself?
Yeah, this was on the Euphrates, edge of the Euphrates.
Wow. Who are those guys?
These guys are all...
You took that picture?
Yeah, fellow fighters. They're police officers with us. This guy was from, what's it called? Finland.
Finland?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
These guys were local Tunisians. Yeah. This is where you cliff dive?
Yeah.
That's like the beach edge.
So you guys are like swimming around, playing on the beach, like on your day off? Is that what this is?
Yeah. We were just chilling. This is the video I have of me.
That's you?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Just firing a gun.
Is that your Glock?
Yeah, that's my personal Glock.
Let me see if I can record it.
And I slowed it down to just for effects.
And who's shooting this video of you shooting a gun into the Euphrates?
Oh, that's a buddy of mine who's videoing me, and then that's me.
Oh my God, what's this?
Oh, they're not throwing a dead body.
They're not throwing a dead body, okay.
That's a friend, and they're throwing him into the water.
Okay, God.
And this was one of my other pictures that I took. That's me.
That's you?
And yeah, that's Munib.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Is he still alive?
I think he died.
Yeah.
He went to the front lines, and I haven't heard from him after that. I could tell maybe he wasn't going to come back. He wasn't cut out for that.
I see. Did you keep in touch with him for a while?
No. This is why I kept telling you, like, I missed them so much.
I see. Yeah.
Like, I literally had to cut everything off.
Yeah.
I couldn't even say goodbye to them.
So at a certain point, you decide that you want to quit.
Yeah.
Can you, was there one moment or a series of moments?
The second time I did I killed someone. This guy was a drug dealer. I had to stab him in the heart.
Why did you have to do that?
That's his punishment.
And why were you chosen to do this?
I was just about ready to go to Riot though. They needed me. They were kind of preparing me, so I was due to go into that training a couple of weeks from that time.
Yeah.
They just had to vet me one more time.
People are watching?
Yep, including my superiors and other fighters and locals.
Who else was there watching?
There'd be other Hispas, like, new guys, regular streets people would watch. A lot of kids watch.
How old was he roughly?
I think he's 30-something, in his 30s.
Yeah.
He was wearing an orange jumpsuit, slight beard, cut face, like square. He was blindfolded. It was like a black leather, rubbery type blindfold. We tied his hands with this wire thing.
Did you mask your face?
Yeah, I did. I masked my face.
Did it help to have that?
Oh, yeah. No one could see your face. It helped a lot. They're like, the guy just like talks to the crowd, addresses them, what's about to happen. And I'm just trying to build up the courage to do it. After that, I stabbed him. The blood was it was warm. And it sprayed everywhere. And the guy was crying and screaming. He did not die after the first time. The second time or so, he probably just slunched over. That was...
I mean, how hard is it to put a knife into somebody?
It's hard. I had to stab him multiple times. And then we put him up on a cross. And I had to leave the dagger in his heart. And then there was a sign that said, it had a code on it. And like 166, drugs and alcohol type offense. Yeah.
How did it feel?
It just, at the time, it just felt disgusting but numb at the same time, like gloomy-ish. I just instantly thought, I'm a psycho killer now. Like, what the hell did I just do? That night, I couldn't sleep at all. I stayed up all night. I got really sick again. I just kept thinking of the guy. I can still feel having my hand on his shoulder.
On his shoulder?
Yeah, and just...
I see, 'cause
Yeah,
you're
holding him.
steadying
I was
him.
pushing him into the knife too. I could still feel that. I could, stabbing someone in the heart like that. I just kept replaying the hand action of my hand going there. I just kept thinking of different things. There was a rush of thoughts in my head. I stabbed him. The blood was just everywhere. What the hell did I just do? I'm a psycho killer now. I didn't give him a chance to repent. I stabbed him. If I die after doing something like this, how will I face God? No. What the hell did I just do? Then I started thinking of my family. What if they were here? What if that had to be my dad? You're basically killing your own parents in a way. Maybe that jihad that I'm doing right now is the wrong type of jihad. Maybe... No, this isn't it. This isn't the right life for me.
Epix presents the original documentary This Is Home, winner of the 2018 Sundance Film Festival Audience Award for World Cinema Documentary. Filmmaker Alexandra Shiva's powerful storytelling captures the struggles and triumphs of 4 Syrian refugee families looking to rebuild their lives in America. Critics hail the film as heartwarming and a timely reminder that humanity knows no borders. This Is Home premieres Friday, June 22nd at 8 p.m. only on Epix or anytime on Epix.com. Watch with a free trial at Epix.com now.
During that week, it was just me being depressed. I only worked for like 2 days that week.
Did your superiors notice your mood?
They did. Yeah. They would talk to me about it. They'd come and talk. They'd have like other guys come and talk to me, guys who lived with me, who knew me very well.
Can you just explain as best as you understand it.
Yeah.
What is happening to Huzaifa?
So he tells us that at this point, he's in his dorm room. He's moping around, depressed, having a hard time recovering from what he just did. And ISIS starts to parade a number of people in front of him. A commander comes in to tell him to buck up. And then a bunch of fighters that he knows and that I think he looked up to, who had become frontline fighters, come to see him.
Like, oh yeah, it's a good thing you did that. I wish I was in your position. You have such an honor to do that and everything. They try to convince me that what I did was good. I'd be like, but the way I killed him, stabbing him in the heart, what kind of punishment is that? I've never heard of it. You know, they're like, no, for these guys, we have to put laws into our own hand. These guys have become so far from Islam.
After everything that we have learned about how ISIS operates, namely that we are not the lawgivers. Allah is the ultimate lawgiver. He is
Tawhid
now
al-Hakimiyya?
Tawhid al-Hakimiyya, right? Tawhid al-Hakimiyya. So the very concepts that brought him to this place are now being violated. And the explanations that they're giving him aren't lining up.
It was becoming from increasingly like from a savior force coming in and, you know, guiding them, helping them live, putting good standards of life, to something that's trying to control them completely and telling them that they're the wrong type of Muslims. You know, it became from some happy place to an all of a sudden dictatorship.
And I've seen this time and again. That is what I saw with Jesse Morton, who was an al-Qaeda recruiter, how he pulled himself out. It's what Mubin Sheikh has said was his experience. He's a Canadian who tried to join the Taliban. And defector after defector, I have seen this process. And that is, I think, one of the most important takeaways. Because if we take the time to listen to these people, what we learn is that it is belief that brought them to this place, but it is also belief that brings them out. It is the contradictions, the hypocrisy, and the moments in time when the Islamic State does not live up to its theological message that finally propels people like Huzaifa to leave.
But Munib, the Australian guy?
So right as he's sitting with these doubts, he says his buddy Munib walks in.
His name was Munib. He was young like me too.
Munib was in the same training course as him.
I could tell he was not a guy who would tell on you or anything. He was a really chill guy, and I miss him so much right now.
And he feels comfortable enough to share with him the doubts that he's feeling.
Yeah.
And so what did you tell him?
I tell him all my doubts. I'm like, you know, I don't feel comfortable with killing any of that. I tell him about my family history, how I'm not that type of guy. You know, like if I die after doing something like this, how will I face God, you know? And it's just making me feel really sick. And he'd share that. He'd tell me about himself and everything. He's like, how he has his doubts. He was more of a guy like, yeah, but I really did leave everything behind, so I can't go back. And he was the one who actually gave me the idea that you could possibly go back. You could run from here, just leave.
So he said, I can't go back because he had problems.
Yeah, he could.
But you realize that your family loves you.
Yeah, that I could go back. I have somewhere to go back to.
How common is this, that somebody would escape from inside the Caliphate?
So it's not common. Obviously, when you go there, you know, you've left what they call, let me look this up. 1 second. You've left what they call Dar al-Kufr, which means the land of the infidels. And you've gone to Dar al-Islam, which is the land of Islam. And you're supposed to be shutting one door, right? And not turning around and going back. But people did escape. We know that quite literally, thousands have escaped, right?
Thousands of people.
Thousands have escaped.
So as you're hearing him explain his particular escape story.
So I considered walking.
It sounds like other stories I've heard.
But it's a desert.
Right?
I packed up my stuff and...
Getting out of ISIS-controlled territory is not easy.
I had to steal a motorcycle. And then from there, I just straight hauled it out.
You're trying to get past checkpoints.
I knew which way to take, and where they'd have their weakest checkpoint.
Without being detected by ISIS.
My heart was pounding at this point. I was so scared.
There's subterfuge.
They stopped me.
There's lying to people.
Told them just patrolling around the city.
Hiding in the bushes.
I'd take off my shirt and just lie flat on the ground.
That kind of thing. And they're all, pretty much all of them, they're trying to get to Turkey.
Then I got a hold of these aid agencies, right?
Okay, that's the most logical border to go through, because once you're in Turkey,
The girl that I met, she was an American.
you're basically in an extension of Europe.
And she's the one who ultimately took me to the Turkish border. So I went to Istanbul and I finally called my parents and they were livid. My mom just like, she just started crying. She's like, oh, you're alive. I thought you were dead. I thought I'd lost my son, this and that. There was just like a bunch of it was really emotional. I even started crying a lot. I'm like, Mom, I'm sorry. I couldn't do this anymore. I couldn't take it. I was wrong. I should have listened to you and everything. It's just not right. I saw it for the first hand now. What's it going to give me? They're the furthest thing away from Islam. I'd rather follow what you guys were teaching me and everything. You know, it was just an hour and a half, 2-hour call. And then they're like, okay, so you can't come back to Canada. You're going to be arrested because there's no way to explain your disappearance. They're like, go to Pakistan and stay there. So I stayed in Istanbul for a bit and finally booked my flight back to Pakistan, where my grandparents were already. They were waiting for me. When I met them, my grandfather just didn't talk to me at all. He just ignored the fact that I was right there. My grandmother was more worried about me and everything. She was crying and just hugging me. So my parents actually booked me the ticket from here. They booked it from a travel agent here and they sent it to me on email.
Did you not worry about what would happen at immigration?
I was, but I dressed in a way that didn't make me look suspicious. And my beard was in a style, not like a full-on beard. There's 2 guards on each side of the gate. And then they just like look through your passport, they ask where you're coming from. And that's when I told them, okay, I came from Pakistan. They're like, oh, okay, how long were you there? 10 months. Why were you there for 10 months? I told them university and everything. They're like, okay. And I said it in a way, I guess, that it didn't make you seem like I was lying. And I was telling the truth. I guess it was a sugar-coated version, but I was still telling the truth. When I got back, I had to face the reprisals from my parents, obviously.
But first, tell me what happened at the airport.
Yeah. My mom and my sister picked me up. And they just, they hugged me and they just started crying. They couldn't believe it. I was really skinny, like scratches on my face, a lot more scratches on my face. Anytime I'd just drop dead soon, that's what I looked like. And then we went home. And my mom, she wouldn't leave my side. She'd keep me in the kitchen with her while cooking dinner. And, I'd have to sleep on the ground of their room.
Do you think that they've been able to forgive you?
My mom, probably not. I don't think my mom can ever forgive me for what I told her about killing and everything.
I see.
Yeah, about what I've done. She never expected that.
Yeah.
That I'd ever do something like that. And my dad, probably not either. I put them through a lot, and it's time I make it up to them now.
And do you think that there's a chance you could go back to that ideology and to that life of violence?
No, I cannot at all. I can't, no. I've come too far from it. Mm-hmm. And, there's too much here that I have to give up now. Mm-hmm. Like, I've struggled so much to reintegrate myself. So there's no point in throwing that out all over again and going back to that ideology. Something that's not right, it's not right.
Have you thought of turning yourself in as a way to kind of try to just, break with it for good and not...
I don't think I could turn myself in because it's scary what they'll do to me. I don't want to be in a prison. I don't want to be cut off again from the outside world. Even no matter how much you're against it now, how much you hate it, you still did what you did. So I'd have never thought of turning myself in. I would turn myself in not to the police, but to religious community leaders. I'd rather turn myself into and then tell them what I'd done.
I think we've kept you long enough. I don't want you to get in trouble with Mom.
Yes. She's definitely gonna ask what I was doing. I'll tell you. I can handle her now.
Yeah.
You guys have a good night. Relax and everything.
You got your bag, right? That's yours. Yeah. Okay. Have a safe trip. Thank you again.
Thank you. Bye.